Hey guys, James Diamond here, and welcome to one of the last episodes of this Trance Takeover on Sonic Academy. In the last episode, we looked at doing all of the structure, and now we're going to be looking at doing the final mix down. So, even though we've been mixing the track down as we've been going along, and it's a very good practice to do, obviously we were looking at getting your lows and highs right, so that everything else kind of fits in between. You're never really going to be able to get your mix down perfect the first time. I certainly don't, and I always have to come back the next day on fresh ears, and maybe, a couple of subsequent days to really get that mix sounding perfect. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go back and we're going to look at different sections, and we are literally going to start from the beginning with the kick drum. I've got this intro section highlighted, 16 bars, and we're going to just start with the kick drum. And we're going to kind of work right, almost. This is the way I have it, why I have it set out like this. The further right along the mixer is the later kind of parts of the track, so the main leads that we were kind of looking at, some of the last things to do, and the kick being the first. So we're going to start with the kick, and we're going to re-level the open hi-hat. So we're going to get span open, and we're going to keep it on default, and we're just going to have a look at the levels. So that's sounding pretty decent, but what I have noticed, and I noticed this earlier, we've still got quite a bit of super high end going on there, like above 18 kilohertz. We don't really need that. It's a little bit off-putting. So I'm just going to go onto the percussion bus, and I'm just going to use an 18 kilohertz cut. A very sharp one. As you can see, we're just cutting it off. This is just going to make it slightly easier when we're looking through the spectral analyzer to kind of really understand where we're at. So that's sounding good. Let's add the sub. Still felt maybe it's a tiny bit too high, so let's bring that down. Maybe we'll bring it back up later. Then add in our bass lines with the delay. I'm feeling now like we've cut too much of the low end off, so let's kind of bring some of that back in. And remember, it's the weight and the definition. I feel like we cut a little bit too much of the weight off. That feels a bit better. Now let's start getting in our other pieces of percussion. Let's maybe bring this one down slightly. Maybe bring that kick drum up just slightly as well. I need to be careful though, because we've got the compressor on the kick and bass bus. We don't want to go into the compressor too much. That's a bit better. Now let's add our claps. I feel like those loops are a little bit quiet, so I've just highlighted all of them. I'm just going to bring them all up slightly. Maybe this last one as well. That's better. Now let's get the crash in, and then let's just work to our right. Sounding good. Let's maybe bring those fills still up a little bit more. Feel like they're just lacking slightly. I think especially this first one. Bring the volume up a little bit. That's better. Now let's bring in the pads for this next section. Yeah, I did feel they were a bit too loud when we were going through the track. Let's bring in these vocal chops. think let's cut off some more low ends, to be honest. Maybe let's make them a little bit more thin. Yeah, that's sounding a little bit nicer. Now let's get the plucks in. Yeah, that's sounding a lot nicer now. I think things just sound a little bit more leveled. Now let's go ahead and look at the main drop section. A couple of things I wanted to look at was the volume of the main lead and also the volume of the vocals when they come back in. So I'm going to pull that main lead all the way back down again. In fact, let's just take reference of the, so it's 69% was how much the volume is. So let's bring that back down. Yeah, I think that feels a little bit better. And let's go to this last section now with the vocals. As you can see, it's mainly the leveling issues. I'm not really doing too much EQ, as most of the EQ is done. It's just the volumes and maybe some automation, just a little bit of EQ. It's not too much really. Nice, I think that's sounding good. I think maybe one thing we should do is probably add these vocal chops back to the outro. Sounding good, sounding good. In fact, we didn't really have to do too much there, to be honest. It's not really too much of an in-depth track, but as you can see, you really do just need to go over those fine little bits just to make sure that everything is in perfect order. So that's pretty much it for this episode. Next episode, I'm just going to show you how to do the kind of final kind of preparation for kind of mastering or playing it out live. And yeah, we'll have a little look at that. All right, I'll see you then. Cheers. Bye bye.